welcome back to my channel. I am Amber from Amber's Books and More, and today it's time for another Top 5 Wednesday. So the topic this week was actually very difficult. It was your top 5 books without romance. So I literally looked at my bookshelf for like an hour trying to find 5 books that I thought had no romance. And the thing is that I don't think I had really any. So I had to broaden that term in my head, but I will just go ahead and get started into it, and I will tell you exactly what I'm talking about. So if you don't know what Top 5 Wednesday is, please check out the link down below to the Goodreads group, and it will have the explanation and exactly what the topics are and everything down below in my description. Okay, let's go ahead and jump right in and get started. So the first one I want to mention doesn't really have a main topic of romance. It is a middle grade ish book, and it's The Golden Compass by Philip Pullman. This is also called The Northern Lights, I believe, in the UK. So this is the first book of his Dark Materials, the trilogy, and so these are kids, so they're not really like a romance. There's more of a friendship. There are mention of romances in the series, but they're not really shown. So for that reason, I'm going to pick this as my number 5 pick. It's definitely a good book. I think that it's a very polarizing type book. And if you can look at it with an open eye as far as like religion and stuff goes, I think it has a very good message. So this is number 5. So for number 4, I'm picking A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. This is a story about a boy that this monster comes and visits him at night and tries to help him through some hard things. This has no romance in it that I can think of. So, I mean, there's kind of like a girl that he kind of thinks is cute and things like that. But as far as romance, I mean, this kid is going through some rough things. So it definitely does not have romance in it. I think that this is a very wonderful book to read, especially if you have kids. You can read this to them because it deals with some very difficult topics, and it is wonderfully illustrated, wonderfully written, and it's definitely a good book, I think. So for the next couple of books, I had to go a little bit more broad, and I'll tell you why. So the next one, number 3 on my list, I'm going to put Ashley Bell by Dean Koontz. So technically, this has a romance in it, but it is the type of romance where you don't see it. So the romance itself, the main character already has like a fiance, and her fiance is overseas. He's in the military. So it is already an established relationship, and you don't actually see them together until the very end, and it's not really romantic in the way that they're together. It's hard to explain because this book is kind of crazy, but definitely think that this is one that you can read if you're not really a romance type person, in which actually Dean Koontz itself, the author, most of his books are in that way. For instance, my favorite Dean Koontz book of all time is False Memory. And so the same thing in this one. This is not a part of my Top 5 Wednesday, but I'll put this as, say, an honorary mention. Because I didn't want to put the same author in twice. But in this one here, you do see a little bit of like sexual relationship going on because there's an established married couple in the beginning of this book. But the story is not about that. It is just kind of a comfort thing. One time it's not graphic. It's not lovey-dovey. It's something that people that don't really like romance could read and not be like, ugh, another romance, you know. So Dean Koontz himself is very good about that. So the next book, number 2 on my list is Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. And so kind of like some of the other books, this is an established relationship, a married couple. And this is about a man trying to give back to his wife. And so there's not really a lot of romance to be seen. It's just not really there. So he talks about that he loves her, but you don't see it in the way that you do like in a romance novel. So this is definitely a great pick to read if you're a fan of thriller and a fan of crazy books, but not a fan of romance. So definitely check this out if I can talk today. So the last book on my list is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. So the reason I picked this book in particular, not the entire trilogy, just this first book, is because there is a romantic connection, but literally all that happens throughout the entire book is a kiss. One kiss. This book is about the adventure that these two go on. It is not about their romance. Romance does fall a little bit more heavily into the second and third book. Still not like overpoweringly romantic, but still just a little bit more than in here. So this has one kiss. If you can handle one kiss, you can handle this book. It is a good fantasy without a lot of romance. So I definitely recommend this for anybody that doesn't like a lot of romance. And that's it. That's all 5 of the books that I wanted to talk to you about. This was by far the most difficult topic that I have seen on Top 5 Wednesday, and I commend you guys for bringing out such difficult topics because it really makes you think at your books in a different way. Like, I didn't think about what books do I read that really don't have any romance, because I just read a book based on if I like it. I don't really care if it has romance or not. I'm not that kind of person. So, hey, now you know. So, there you go. That's all I have for you today. Until next time, have a great day wherever you are, and I love you. Bye.